Welcome to Ogulagha Vanguards News Update.
My name is Edith Ashebinoma. News on the hour. Ijaw and Urhobo stakeholders in Warri Federal Constituency have expressed concern over what they describe as a delay in the implementation of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC.
Threat to rule of law and democracy in Warri Federal Constituency of Delta State. Statement issued by Ijaw and Urhobo protesters on Monday, the 1st day of June 2026, to alert the Nigerian and international community on threat to the rule of law and democracy as a result of INEC's delay in the implementation of its final report on the Supreme Court ordered fresh delineation of Warri Federal Constituency of Delta State.
Final report on the Supreme Court order, fresh delineation of electoral wards and constituency in Delta State Warri Federal Constituency. The concerns were raised during a protest held in Warri on Monday, where representatives of the two ethnic groups alleged that the implementation process announced by INEC on May 20, 2026 had yet to commence despite assurance from the Electoral Commission. According to the protesters, INEC had presented its final delineation report to stakeholders in Asaba, Delta State, and stated that the report was ready for immediate implementation. The Commission reportedly announced the creation of 20 registration areas / electoral ward across Warri North, Warri South, and Warri Southwest local government areas, as well as 2 additional state constituencies of Warri North and Warri Southwest.
You will recall that on the 20th day of May 2026, INEC released its final report of the Supreme Court ordered fresh delineation of Warri Federal Constituency of Delta State to stakeholders in Asaba. At that presentation of the final report, INEC National Commissioner Alhaji Abdul Razak Tuko Yusuf, who represented the INEC chairman, Professor Joash Amuto San, stated that the presentation was decision of the commission on the fresh delineation for immediate implementation. Specifically, the commission representative stated that a total of 20 registration areas have been created for all the 3 local government areas, that is Warri North, Warri South, and Warri Southwest, respectively. Furthermore, that the Commission created 2 additional state constituencies for Warri North and Warri Southwest, local government areas of Delta State, to ensure more representation by the people of the Warri Federal Constituency.
The groups noted that the Commission had also indicated that the political parties would be directed to conduct primaries for the newly created constituencies in preparation for the 2027 general elections. However, the protesters expressed disappointment that implementation had not begun several days after report's presentation, arguing that electoral timeline for the 2027 elections make immediate action necessary.
The INEC National Commissioner stated further that in the light of the foregoing, and considering the limited time constraint imposed by the INEC timetable for the conduct of the 2027 election, the Commission would immediately direct political parties to conduct primaries for the nomination of candidates to contest the 2027 elections in the newly created state constituencies in Warri North and Warri Southwest local government area. However, the Ijaw and Urhobo of Warri Federal Constituency are shocked that over 10 days after that announcement and presentation by INEC, is the implementation of the report has not yet started as promised by INEC. We note that the deadline for conduct and submission of lists of candidates of political parties to contest the 2027 general election is fast approaching. We have in good authority that INEC's failure to immediately implement the report of the fresh delineation as promised is as a result of external interference by the Presidency and other organs, which ordered that the implementation be put on hold.
They further alleged that external influences may be responsible for the delay, claiming that efforts to halt implementation could undermine the independence of INEC and the rule of law. The protesters emphasized that the Supreme Court judgment, which led to the delineation exercise, remains binding and should be implemented without alteration.
We, the Ijaw and Urhobo people of Warri, condemn in the strongest terms the interference of the Presidency in the implementation of the Supreme Court ordered fresh delineation of Warri Federal Constituency of Delta State by INEC. The interference by the Presidency is an attack on the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which the President took oath to adhere to. By Section 161 of the Constitution, INEC is independent in performance of its duties, and the Presidency has no right whatsoever to direct or interfere with INEC's duties.
They urge INEC to proceed with all electoral activities in Warri Federal Constituency based on the final delineation report already presented to stakeholders.
The 1999 Constitution clearly states that INEC shall not be subject to the direction and control of the Presidency or any other organ. Furthermore, by Section 287, subsection 2 of the 1999 Constitution, the judgment of the Supreme Court is final, and all organs and agencies of government have a constitutional duty to implement orders of the Supreme Court without delay or hesitation. In this case, the Supreme Court gave a final decision in Honorable Judge U. Timinimi and others versus INEC, and therefore the Presidency has no constitutional powers to stop its implementation. We wish to alert the Nigerian people and international community that the interference of the Presidency in the implementation of the judgment of the Supreme Court is an attack on the rule of law and democracy in Warri Federal Constituency and Delta State and Nigeria at large. We wish to insist that the rule of law must prevail in this Warri Federal Constituency of Delta State.
The groups also called on political parties to begin preparations for candidate nominations in the newly created constituencies, particularly in Warri North and in the Warri Southwest local government areas, while expressing concerns about possible tensions arising from any alteration of the reports. They urge all stakeholders to respect constitutional processes, maintain peace, and uphold democratic principles. The protester concluded by insisting that the final delineation report released by INEC should remain unchanged and serve as the basis for future electoral activities within the constituency. The statement was jointly issued on behalf of Ijaw and Urhobo stakeholder in Warri Federal Constituency.
In conclusion, we state that INEC, having concluded the delineation, must only conduct any subsequent electoral activity in Warri Federal Constituency based on the result of the final delineation presented without any alteration. The final report of the delineation submitted to stakeholders on the 20th day of May 2026 must not be altered in any form. It would be recalled that relocation of a local government headquarters from Ogulagha, in fact, the Shakri people are always fighting any good thing. When they were supposed to site Delta State headquarters somewhere around this Warri territory, really, the Warri people, the Shakri people fought against it and protested vehemently, used all tactics to push it away. This is what they also did when the local government was sited at Ogulagha, and in a military fiat, because of their long leg and their finances, they moved it from Ogulagha to Ogulagha. That is the genesis of the famous and infamous Warri crisis. Ijaws and Urhobos do not want a repeat of such a thing. To be warned is to be harmed.
Other stakeholders, including representatives of the Urhobo bloc, women leaders, youth leaders, and community groups, also voiced concerns over the integrity, transparency, and credibility of the ongoing ward delineation process.
This conference is well meaningful for the peace of Warri Federal Constituency. And I do support the views read to you just now. The INEC chairman, who is from the Temple of Justice as a son, owes Nigeria and the Warri Federal Constituency a huge responsibility, which he has to implement. We should not be seen going forward and backward. The international communities are ashamed of what is going on in the Warri Federal Constituency. Do we want to wait for Trump, President Trump of USA, to intervene on a Supreme Court judgment so that sanity can come back to Nigeria? That is a shame. And in light of this, I want to strongly appeal to both Mr. President and the INEC chairman and even the NSA to please do the needful. One, stop interfering with the duties of INEC. Allow INEC, who has given their word by bringing out the final report, to come on ground and complete their delineation. The Urhobos, the Shekris have suffered, the Urhobos, the Ijaws have suffered the same fate in the past. And by the present exercise, no ethnic nationality is alienated. And so there is no basis for raising the tension in Warri Federal Constituency. We thank you, the media men. Please ensure that this press conference goes viral and let the president know that he is toying with a keg of gunpowder.
I'm Alawe Dembo for Wiboda from Ogulagha, the Alawe of Warri. I stand here to speak on behalf of the Ijaws, be you the president, be you INEC, or be you the first lady. We start from Warri. She's supposed to property from Ogulagha in nowhere. Come to tell us that we are not Warri people because some disgruntled elements from the Shekri ethnic nationality and come to present their case to say that Ijaws are not there for Warri. We challenge that authority. If this rubbish were done in the past, we are not going to accept it any longer. No matter whose us it is, we are prepared to wage this war with anybody.
Like I said earlier, time is fast running out. Mr. President should be aware. Recall what happened in 1997. This Ogulagha local government area headquarters were relocated. We saw what happened to Nigeria. We knew our oil dropped from 2.something million barrels to 800 barrels. We know the effect it had on this nation. Election is fast coming. If Nigeria wants us to repeat what we used to do, we are not scared. We will repeat it again. If the Shekris are prepared, let them come to the field. We are ready for them. There's no time of saying. There's no time to pretend. Enough is enough. What does the Shekri people want? They should tell us. Now we have 6 constituencies, state house assembly constituencies, instead of 4. Is that also not a gain? It's a gain. Political and economic development, the Jaws have brought so much to the table. Let them tell us their contribution. The first lady, Tinubu, is sitting in Abuja there. Instead of busy about taking care of her husband in the kitchen, interfering in Warri affairs. Yeah, she did not be kidnapped in Osun State. She did not kidnapped in northern Nigeria. As a mother, she has no feelings. Is that the woman who calls herself a mother? No. Is that what we call a mother? No. Is that what we call a mother? No. She should take care of her responsibility by taking care of her husband and her children. Yes. She has no place in the office of the presidency. Yes. There's no constitutional provision for her. Yes. We are not missing words at this point. Our blood is not bleeding. We are tired of all this nonsense from the Shekiris. Okay. No matter who is it, we are prepared for it. Let the nation know that we are prepared. Thank you very much. God bless all of you.
Gentlemen of the press, well, thank you very much for being around again. I think this time around, the whole world should know from this protest that we are tired of INEC delaying the implementation of his final reports presented to us on the 20th of May at Asaba. Minorities cannot be majorities in a place where the Ijaws and the Urhobos are majority of the Warri Federal Constituency. It is a taboo. It is an abomination for a minority to be a majority, wanting to dominate the political future of a people of 2 ethnic nationalities in the Warri Federal Constituency. Why is it that when it is the turn of the Ijaws and Urhobo, that the sacred man will never want to have mercy, will never want to have pity? If they claim to own Warri, having more additional federal constituency, is it not a plus? Go to Lagos. We all know that Lagos is for the Yorubas. But there are Igbo people who are councillors in some local government in Lagos because of their population. What have we done to these people? We accommodated enough of their nonsense values. We accommodated enough of their political threats and marginalization. We have tolerated enough of their political dominating powers on majorities. Enough is enough. The president and the wife should demonstrate themselves as fathers and mothers to the Nigerian states. If today, by the people of Nigeria, they occupy the highest seat in Aso Rock as presidents and first ladies, their interference in the INEC's work is not a good one. It will not augur well for him. Let us remember what happened recently in Iran. The stoppage, the blockades of the street owners. We all know how it affected this world globally. The Ijaws and the Urhobos have the power, have the abilities. The more they push us to the wall, it will come to a time we'll stop the flow of oil in this country. What made the president of this country to be well known in the world is oil. Without oil, you have no name, you have no recognition, you have no bearing. Your dollar exchange is by the strength of the oil from the Niger Delta, and which the Urhobos and the Ijaws produce in Delta states in the Warri Federal Constituency. If we cannot be given our own fair play, if INEC has gone to go for field exercise to correct this anomaly, and somebody is saying it should not be done. We have shifted a lot of grounds for peace to reign. We are not 100% satisfied with what is given to us with the second report. What would have been the best for us was would have been the first one. But because we are tolerating and accommodating people, we accepted the second one. And for now, they are saying no. It is only when they so know that government will listen to them. A lot has happened to us, as earlier mentioned by the earlier speakers. It was Awolowo in 1952, because of the affinity with his secretaries, that made the Olu of his secretary to Olu of Warri. And that is a problem that we are managing. It's a problem that we are managing. So to avoid any crisis in Warri, we don't want crisis. We want to live peacefully. We want to exercise our own democratic civil rights, to cast our votes, to be voted for, and to vote. So in that wise, for over the years, it is Ishakri that who have been in the House of Reps. When the Jaws are suffering, we didn't make any move. Why is it that we fought for our own freedom? You go and fight for your own freedom. You cannot allow yourself on others when they are fighting for their own freedom. So enough is enough. The federal government should allow INEC to do its statutory duty. Anything less of what has been done by the field exercise is unacceptable to the Ijaws and the Urhobos of the Warri Federal Constituency. Is this in time saves night?
Gentlemen of the press, I want to align myself with the first speaker and the last speaker. It is a known fact that our Chekiri brothers, they have to maintain peace in the Warri Federal Constituency. For the past, we have been hitting the bitter pill. Now God has made it to our turn. I can remember vividly when the INEC came on board. We will have the representative going out to the field work with INEC. Likewise, our Chekiri brothers, likewise, our Ijaw brothers. We all went to the field with INEC, and INEC went to Abuja with their report. And they came back to Asaba to give us some reports that if we are not satisfied, we should put it in writing. We did that to INEC. I don't think there's any reason for our brothers to be raising voice or making protest upon protest. The evil will not fall. If it did not favor you today, tomorrow is going to favor you. At this point, I want to appeal to them to maintain peace. Allow INEC to do their work. They've come up with their final result. And let it be. Tomorrow is another day. Please, we the Urhobos, Ijaws and the Chekiri should maintain peace and allow the process to go smoothly. That is my words for them. Thank you very much.
Hey, so! Hey, so! Is someone coming me out? My name now Samson Zaria. I am from Belama community. I was the ward chairman at Ederstand. I was the ward chairman in Ederstand. Now today, I want to make us to understand. I am still telling the INEC that what they have done, the thing what they don't do for us, so make it stand where it stand. They should let the sleeping dog lie. Make them not let people who are not supposed to provoke or they provoke. At least Ijaw people don't try for this country. Waiting. People when not even reach us say they get better than many states. But we only the small we get, so they don't want to let us eat the dividends so we see get. I beg you, we want peace, we don't want trouble. May they give us, may they leave this world the way they already create down. May they live at the way it did, so that we self go enjoy what we don't enjoy. In Chekiri people, the one that don't do, he don't do now. He don't do. The one that don't do, so he don't do. Then the oppressed person finish. When you oppress person, you don't go see the rest small. I beg you, we don't want trouble. We want peace. The world, the way they don't create so. The Bulama word, Ewi word, Ogulagha Warri Oba word, they should let it lie. Nobody should touch it. INEC, hear me very well. Except say you want to cause another crisis in Warri.
We no want crisis, oh. We no want problem, oh. We need peace. Our president, you tried before, but don't let your wife use you as a tool. Don't come here and make your wife to use you to make another thing. Go inside INEC, begin to spread the mind of INEC. I beg you, now election you dey come. We will say we still put and say we won't vote for you. Now with what you dey do, so are you telling us to vote for you? No. Are you telling us to vote for you? No. No. Mr. President, sir, I beg, bring your mind down. You are a good man. Do the good thing at the good time, at the right time. May God bless you in Jesus' name.
My name is Barrister Amatalamoe Esode, the President, Egbema Youth Council, EYC Worldwide. Today I stand before you representing the youth of the Warri Federal Constituency, covering both the Ijaw and Urhobos. You went into the creeks, the riverine communities, and conducted your exercise. And you came up with the final report. On the 20th of May 2026, you presented the final report to the leaders of the Warri Federal Constituency. You have done well, but you have failed to implement it. We are calling on INEC to do the needful. Do the needful in the sense that upload the report you presented to the leaders of the Warri Federal Constituency in your server, so that the good people of the Warri Federal Constituency will field their candidates. There are new wards, new constituency created. It is a good one to the entire Warri Federal Constituency. I see no reason why one or two persons will be aggrieved because of that. INEC, we want to feed our candidates. We want to feed people that will represent us. Please upload the report in the server. As youths in the kingdom, we will not allow a macro tribe to hold ransom of tribes that are more than them in 10,000 times.
Micro, again.
A tribe that, by history, because of their stubbornness, they were chased out from the Benin Kingdom. Today, the good people of Warri, the good people of Urhobos, the good people of Ijaws, accommodated for a very long period of time. Today, you did nothing but to reduce them to what they are not supposed to be. But today, the youth of Ijaws, the youth of Urhobos in the Warri Federal Constituency, we will never take it anymore. Yes, we will not take it anymore. What we are saying in essence that, please, something happened in 1997. We do not want that to repeat itself again. And by any means, if it repeats itself, it will be worse than the way it was before. There will be no gas flare in Niger Delta. The Ijaws will suffer, the Shekris will suffer, the Urhobos will suffer, and the federal government will suffer it. This is a message to the federal government. Our leaders, our fathers have been keeping the youth calm for a very long time. But it has come to the bare minimum, we cannot be calm anymore. So please, and please, INEC should implement the final report so that we can feed our candidate. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. INEC, they've done their work, and they did a good work. On the 20th of May 2026, INEC called the stakeholders to Asaba and handed over the delineated results to the stakeholders. And they made it clear emphatically that in no distance time, stakeholders should field their candidates in these wards that have created as wards and federal constituency. But till today, INEC has not done the needful. The reason why, we don't know. But we want to sound it clear that this delay is not helping us, because our First Lady, Mrs. Tinubu, is trying to use her husband
to thwart the efforts of INEC, which we will not allow. As a people, the Ijaw people of Warri South, we have suffered a lot. We have been balkanized. Our wards and units have been balkanized into various units and wards that the Shekuris occupy time immemorial. But for the fact that we came out and we protested, we went to court, and the law saw that of a truth, these people, they ought to be politically participating for elections. This result has come, but the Shekiri people will not allow us to breathe. Why can't they allow us to breathe? This is our land. It's our right to be politically empowered. It's our right to be politically participating in political affairs. But due to this marginalization from our First Lady, who she's using to talk to her husband to do what is not right, we will not take it anymore. We will not take it anymore, because this is about time that the court has been able to give us justice, and justice must prevail. Justice must prevail. It is our right to vote. We cannot be only be voting for all the time. We cannot be voting for people all the time. Let them go and check the records. All the units that the young people in Warri South are been embedded in right from time. We've been winning our units in the election periods. Go and check the records. The records are there. But today, thank God to the result that INEC has given to us. We'll be given our own 3 wards. Yes, they want to allow these 3 wards to stay. Even though we request for 5 wards, even the GRO ward is inclusive, but they deprived us of giving us a GRO ward. Eyes on! Eyes on! Yeah. So in this light, we are appealing to INEC to please upload your results so that we can be able to participate in our elections. Enough is enough.
My name is Chief Honorable Mrs. Christiana Serubo. Why we gather here? We gather because of Tinubu's wife and the president. We, Ijaws of Warri, we need peace. Now, Tinubu's wife, now they bring problem. INEC, Supreme Court, don't give order to go round to all the kingdom, the Warri, 3 Warris that we have. Now, the INEC has already gone to the 3 Warris and bring out their report. They work. Now, INEC want to bring out the result. Tinubu's wife is causing problem. Ijaw and Urhobo, we are together, working together. We are here unanimously to tell INEC to release the report. Now Ijaw I get worried. Warri not like Ijaw I get up. Urhobo I get worried. Ijaw I get worried. Warri Southwest Ijaw I get up. Now we be population. Now we be vote. Urhobo I be vote. So we are telling Tinubu's wife, remove your arm. Remove your arm. If not, no vote, no election.
We have lists covering these houses. We have lists of 1906. We have lists of 1908. Warri GRA is under those lists. 1908 list covers the Warri GRA. If you go to the mosque opposite Ogulagha market, there is a list covering that aspect. Ogulagha is in Warri South. We have Elders Town. All the 3 local governments are under Ogulagha. I want to also appreciate the leadership, the political leaders, the women, the youth for their patience to enable us to have this gathering in a peaceful manner. So we want to say thank you to each and everyone being the host of this our community. Thank you. God bless you.
This news is reaching you from Ogulagha Vanguards TV online. I am your host.
Edit, Ashebinoma.